Shalom, and again, Shabbat Shalom. Today I'm doing 3 YouTubes because I'm traveling, God willing, back to the United States for a short lecture circuit and coming home again in April. So until April, this is my final YouTube. Before I did a YouTube on the weekly readings, the 4 last weekly readings of the book of Exodus. I kind of alluded last week to Tetzaveh being not of great interest, and Vayakhel and Pikudei, which are the 2 last readings, are again very boring because they are just technical issues regarding the building of the tabernacle. But one of the 4 readings, Hitisa, is extremely important because it talks about the golden calf. And I'm not going to talk about it now because I already did a YouTube on that. My second YouTube that I did just before was about Secretary of State Kerry and Martin Indyk and other people who really, really sincerely want peace, but what they're offering Israel is a suicide pact. But because Israel, going back to the borders of June the 5th, 1967, are committing suicide. What I wanted to do was to reassure them, Kerry and Indyk and President Obama and anyone who thinks that Israel's ready to commit suicide. And to say that Israel is not going to commit suicide. God is not going to allow it to happen. And not only that, I'm working to form a Judeo-Christian political party which is going to prepare Israel for the coming days, weeks, months, and years. Israel's borders are not going to shrink down from their present borders to the June 5th, 1967 borders. Israel's borders are going to grow. I mean, if we believe in the Bible and if we follow God's word. And I'm going to show how this is going to happen. The borders of Israel will be from Lebanon to Saudi Arabia. I don't know exactly where the borderline will be. It could be all of Saudi Arabia. It could include Yemen also. The borders will be from the Mediterranean and all the way to the Kurdish areas, to the Euphrates. Israel is going to become a very big country. And if Secretary of State Kerry likes to talk about embargoes and isolation, that the world is going to go against Israel, then it just shows that he believes in the Bible, because God says these things are going to happen. If the Muslim president of the United States, and I recommend to everyone to go to YouTube, Saudi plant, look at that, you'll get an idea of who your president is, and to the Americans I'm saying this. President Obama is the president of a country, the United States of America, that already has 20 million Muslims. And because of the Arab Spring and the self-destruction that Allah is bringing to the Muslims, is going to bring in another 20 to 30 million Muslims into America. So the Jews are no longer number 2. America is no longer a Judeo-Christian country. And Obama said it in his first inaugural address. America is a Christian-Muslim country. So these Muslims coming into America, one thing they all have in common is that they hate the Jews. And Islam teaches to kill the Jew on Saturday and kill the Christian on Sunday. So if you have 50 million Muslims in America, and if you have 6 million Jews, and the bottom line is kill the Jew on Saturday and kill the Christian on Sunday, what we're going to see with Kerry's embargoes and isolation of Israel is a horrible wave of persecution and murder against the Jews living in the West. The only safe place for the Jews will be in Israel. And in the case of the American Jews, who are intermarried with the Christians up to 71%, we will also be seeing many, many Christian spouses and children moving home to Israel with their Jewish husbands and wives. So if Israel, because of these Kerry embargoes and isolations, if Israel ends up receiving 5 to 10 million refugees coming in from the West, Israel's borders will also grow. This is the important part of the message. And I'm forming a Judeo-Christian political party precisely for that purpose. The weekly reading here, we are talking about the golden calf and how the Israelites worshiped cows and bulls in Egypt. And when Moses didn't come back after 40 days and 40 nights, they said, we want to go back to our old-time religion, which was sexual orgies and the bull and the cow. And so Moses smashes the tablets, goes back up to Mount Sinai, and rewrites, under God's instructions, he rewrites the tablets and the different commandments. Mountain of God, the mountain there in Saudi Arabia, is today under infidel control. And I believe if Deuteronomy 11 is true, if the prophecy is going to be fulfilled, that yes, we will be returning to Arabia. We will be taking Lebanon. You know that Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, these countries are depopulating. The Jews are not doing anything. If you want to see a parallel story in the Bible, go to 2 Chronicles chapter 20, and it describes exactly how these people self-destruct. The enemies of Israel, the enemies of God, self-destruct. So I believe that Secretary of State Kerry is doing God's work by talking about embargoes and isolation and persecution and eventually the world coming against not only Israel, but coming against the Jews, coming against the Christians. So I believe we're going to be seeing a movement, a demographic transfer of population. Muslims will be moving to the U.S., Jews will be moving back to Israel. This political party that I'm working to form will go from, Israel will go from a population of 8 million to 18 million, and 10 million, the difference, will be Westerners. The book of Hosea, chapter 11, verse 10 says that my children Ephraim, my children will come home trembling from the west, as the Lord roars like a lion. And what does it mean the Lord roars like a lion? Is the Lord a lion? The Lord is not a lion. The Lord roars like a lion, meaning the children of Israel come home trembling because nothing will get a Jew out of America except for persecution and murder committed by the Muslims against the Jews. So this is something that the U.S. government today is promoting, the importation of tens of millions of Muslims, many of them illegal, by the way. I talked about this last week. If you want the YouTube, send me or the email, and I'll send it to you about a U.S. pilot who's flying illegals into America at the behest of the U.S. government. That's why you have 20 million Muslims in America as opposed to 6 million Jews. Soon it won't be 20 million, soon it'll be 30, 40, 50 million. America, by the way, will have a tremendous housing boom because it's good for the economy. You have to build houses for these tens of millions of Muslims. But if they got the hatred of the Jews in their mother's milk and the teaching, Itbah el-Yahud, which is slaughter the Jew on Saturday and slaughter the Christian on Sunday, I think you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that many Jews are going to be fleeing from the West and moving home to Israel. So my political party will be the biggest party in the Israeli political system as these millions of people come home. My party will be the party of these immigrants. We will expand our borders, not because we're going to go out conquering because we're bored. We're going to conquer because there's going to be a vacuum surrounding us. Lebanon, Syria, Iraq are going through the throes of horrible civil war, decimation of their own populations by themselves. Jordan, and I have a lot of respect for King Abdullah of Jordan. He is a friend and an ally, even though he's thinking that he's not, but God is using him as one. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is going to collapse because all of these Al-Qaeda people who were trained in Saudi Arabia and financed by Saudi Arabia are going to come home to roost. And they're going to see the King of Saudi Arabia as a traitor in bed with the Western Christians and infidels. So Saudi Arabia is going to collapse. They're going to blow up the oil wells. The one world government, and rightly so, is going to have to secure the oil supplies. Israel will be part of the one world government in that stage. As for the party itself, I just want to conclude, Israel will be part of that coalition. Israel will take part of Saudi Arabia, just like US, Russia, Britain. All these countries, China, India, all have to secure the oil supplies. Saudi, the Persian Gulf, very big territorial areas. Many countries have to be involved in this, just like Germany had to be divided up between the four major powers after World War II. Anyway, getting back to the nitty-gritty of the party, my first book in Hebrew is my fourth book in English. Israel's Bible Bloc is, God willing, coming out in Hebrew. I worked 3 months, very hard months. Part of my stent operation that I did a few weeks ago has forced me to stay home in Israel and has allowed me to complete the translation of my fourth book, Israel's Bible Bloc, into Hebrew. And hopefully it'll be published very soon I have a publisher in Israel who was interested in that book. And then in my sixth book, which will be my second book in Hebrew about the return to Mecca, we have 70 signatures. We need 30 signatures more. I'm waiting for the strategic decision of the Arabic-speaking Christians and some other very good people in this country to come on board. I'm lacking $30,000. I'm very confident to get that money. And hopefully when I come back in April, my book on the party will be in English and in Hebrew. After that, we have to retranslate it into Russian and Arabic, because those are the constituencies that will be voting in the elections. So God willing, I'm very excited. I do believe that God has saved me twice already from heart attacks. Actually, I did have a heart attack, but it was very minor. The pacemaker in June, the stent just 3 weeks ago. And God willing, if he wants me alive and he wants his party to happen, it's going to happen. Even if I'm not alive, the party's going to happen. And we will have the borders, because God said so in Deuteronomy 11. And so I wanted to bless all of you. I have a website, www.vicmord.com. People can write to me. I always answer emails that are honest and short. Don't write me 20-page emails. Just send me short things. I'll answer them. And if you can support the party, I also have a link for Pyrex and other ways. So please be in touch if you believe in the future of a Judeo-Christian alliance in Jerusalem that will receive the Messiah. Whether it's first or second coming, we shall see at that time. And God bless all of you, and Shabbat Shalom. And I hope to continue the YouTubes in April.